I just got a donation from a guy from PayPal, and I'm going to use the initials TS for this one. So thank you, TS. And I'm going to go over his question. This has to do with MGTOW, red pill philosophy, and also with the game of dating. And we're going to talk about some female nature in here that he had a question on. So once again, thank you, TS, for your donation. Links are in the descriptions if you do want to support the channel through a donation. And I try to respond, or in this case, like make a video if you have a question. So here it goes. He said, "Hey Prince, I like your videos. I want to support your channel, so here's a little something. I watch a few YouTubers who talk about MGTOW and Red Pill, and I see the point of becoming high-value men and just be a better person overall. The thing I don't get is this game around it. Don't tell her your feelings, act in a certain way just to play with them. I understand that women do the same to test men. It's just me personally, I never liked it. I'm always very open and upfront with my intentions with women, so there isn't a confusion down the road, and if she doesn't see it the same way, then I just stop seeing her. I don't date much because I don't like these games, but I travel a lot all around the world, so it's very easy for me to meet women and even more. But if I spend time and money on her, I want to be sure we are on the same page about our future. Sorry for the long story. I would just like your thoughts on this because I feel like everyone is just overthinking it too much, playing games and trying different strategies, but then you just lose your true self in all of this." All right, thank you again, TS, for your donation in your topic. I'm just going to start from the top here and kind of give you my insights as they come in. So when you started with, I watch a few YouTubers who talk about MGTOW and Red Pill, and I see the point of becoming high-value men and just be a better person overall. That right there is the key ingredient to helping your life. Take women out of the picture, and the most important thing you can do is to level up your life, level up yourself, become a more high-value man in all aspects, and you can bring more value to the world. Not necessarily bring more value to women, just bring more value to the world. And I think that everyone kind of listening to this and watching that can agree on that thing. That's why I always talk about you are the prize. The more that you can level yourself up by growing in knowledge, growing your assets, making better health decisions, becoming a more well-rounded person, the better you do, the more your value will increase, which you can now share that value with the world, with the people you interact with on a day-to-day basis. Now, when you mention the thing I don't get is the game around it. Okay, so here's how I kind of look at that. The most important part, again, is to create a better person to bring to the world. However, guys that are good with women, when I talk about the Chad and Tyrones and all that stuff, men that are really good at getting women to fall for them or to attract women, what that really is those guys just have a deeper understanding of female nature. So there's basically two levels to this. The first level of female nature is, and what you'll find on a lot of Red Pill or MGTOW content creators that talk about women, is they give you the defensive aspect. They teach you the awareness so that you don't fall for manipulation tactics. They teach you about some of the laws that are in place that really make committing or getting married right now a bad deal, especially if you don't understand all the complexities of female nature and the things that you're going to have to go through. So the first part of all this is basically the defense and awareness, but when we talk about the game part, that is just going that next level in understanding female nature to the point where you not only know what to look out for so that you don't get manipulated, you don't get lied to, but now you understand women in such a way that you just know how to become more attractive to women in certain cases. Like, for instance, this. When you said, don't tell her your feelings, act in a certain way just to play with them, okay? Let's break that down a little bit. So if you understand hypergamy, which is basically the innate desire in women to always get the highest status man for her that she can attain. Now, how does a woman know if she can attain you? Well, she knows she can attain you if you tell her how you feel. If you tell her you like her, you tell her how pretty she is, you tell her how lucky you are to spend time with her, right? When you tell her that, then that, like telling her your feelings or saying what you want. Well, I want a relationship with you. Okay? When you give her that knowledge, again, you got to understand that men and women are different. So when you give women that knowledge, that actually makes them go, okay, wait, I know where he stands. He likes me. And that is part of where her hypergamy, that innate desire to always get the highest status man that she can attain, that kind of lights up in her. Because if she knows she can attain you because you tell her your feelings, you tell her that you like her, you tell her you could see yourself spending the rest of your life with her, her innate desire in hypergamy will then go, okay, well, now I have this guy, and now subconsciously she starts looking around for more. She might not do this consciously, but subconsciously there'll be something missing. There's something about you, if you tell her your feelings, that she's kind of like, okay, well, I'm not feeling the same way about him that I used to, because again, that hypergamy is something that's in women that is not in men. So when you understand that, you understand that when I say don't tell her how you feel, that is because when you have that deeper understanding of women, when you tell her how you feel, she then loses some attraction for you because the mystery is gone. That's something that women love, is the mystery. They love that not knowing. They love having to try to figure out where you stand. They love trying to piece it all together. But when you give it to them, then that takes away part of that mystery. And I know it sounds weird to us men, but women are different. And again, that's why learning game is really just understanding women in such a deep sense that the way you interact with them changes. So now you say, I understand that women do the same to test men. It's just me personally, I never liked it. Okay. I'm always very open and upfront with my intentions with women, so there isn't a confusion down the road. And if she doesn't see it the same way, then I just stop seeing her. Hey, that is okay. If that's your strategy, right? Do whatever you want. But if you want to get to that next level where, let's say there's a girl that you want to keep around in your life, then part of learning game is, again, just understanding women to that next degree. When you say, hey, I just want to tell women how I feel, okay, well, peel back the next layer. Why do you feel the need to tell women how you feel? Do you feel the need to tell your guy friends, hey, I really like being around you. I could see myself being your friend for our whole lives. Would you say say something like that to a man? Probably not. So why do you have the urge or the need to tell that to women? So when you peel back that next layer, you start to understand that a lot of learning game is really unlearning the crap that we were fed, unlearning the crap from the romance movies, unlearning the crap that we're fed in, society, on the media, in the articles you read about how you're supposed to. A real man, this is kind of the message that we're saying. A real man doesn't, he tells her what's on his mind, and he doesn't play games with her. That's what women will tell us that a real man does. So when you say, you want to tell her how you feel, I have to just ask you a question. Why do you feel the need to tell her? Is it possible that the reason you feel the need to tell her how you feel is because you still have some of this prior brainwashing that we've all grown up with? Again, it's not your fault to have this brainwashing, but learning game is really seeing when you have to basically erase all of your prior knowledge that you had thought you knew about women, that you thought you knew about how you're supposed to tell her how you feel, you're supposed to tell her she's beautiful, because again, that's all fed to us. So guys with game, guys that are really good with women, it's no longer an act. When I go on a date with a woman, I don't think about things. I just act. I've internalized all of this stuff. So at the very end of your message here, when you say, I would just like your thoughts on this because I feel like everyone is just overthinking it too much, playing games and trying different strategies, but then you just lose your true self in all of this. Well, see, that's what all this information is, when you're learning something new, it feels like you have all these rules to learn. The same with if you were to take a new job somewhere, and you're starting to learn a whole new system, a whole new procedure of the way things go. You have to think about things a lot while you're learning all of this new stuff, all these new rules. But once you're comfortable in a job and you've done it a bit, it becomes second nature, right? So it just becomes part of yourself. It's just how you interact with your job. You learn the intricacies of how your new job works, and then you just take yourself with you to your job and you perform. You're no longer thinking. That is the same way about game. Is when you have that deeper understanding of women and you understand all the little things that women are attracted to in men, because again, we're different, right? When you learn all that, you're not losing your true self. You're just adding knowledge, and then when you know better, you do better. Men are very smart. When we know better, we do better. So it's not, if I tell a guy, hey, if a girl texts you back within 2 minutes, wait. Don't text her back right away. All right? Some guys will go, well, see, being my true self, I would have texted her back right away. But then I go, all right, well, remember, understand this about women. Women want a man that's high status. A high status man is a man whose time is in demand, right? If a guy has high status, think of a celebrity, their time is in demand, so they don't have the time to just sit here and text you back all day long. So that's an example of, if you understand what women look for and you really truly understand that, and then you understand, okay, a girl texts me, when it looks like you're playing a game, it's like, to me, I just don't really think about that anymore, but when I'm explaining it to other men, I break it down with rules, because those rules will help guys internalize female nature, and then you become more natural as you act it out. So one thing I kind of want to leave you and everyone else watching this video with is a little look into psychology and kind of the human mind to really help us bridge a gap. And a reason this is important is that you see, like, I think us men need to unite. We need to have each other's backs. And so we do see almost a battle sometimes going on in what you would call the manosphere, where you have red pill men teaching men how to get better with women. And then you could have some MGTOW men that say, hey, you shouldn't do that. You are putting women on a pedestal. You're begging for them and all that stuff. And then we have this division among men, when really those are two sides of the same coin. One is defense, one is offense, and having all that knowledge only will help all of us men. But if we get divided amongst ourselves and we blame the game, like, okay, it's better to ignore all women. Some guys go, hey, it's better to ignore all women. Other guys go, hey, I want to learn how to game women so that I can still, sleep around and do this or that, right? If we as men just step back and go, hey, knowledge is power. Let's help our brothers out in whichever way is going to help them progress to the next step in their life. Then we unite, and when men unite, that's when change happens. Because when men, just think if every man knew not only the defensive aspect of women, of female nature, but also the offensive aspect, women would have no choice but to change the way that they are playing the game. Which the modern woman right now, the way that she's playing the game is that she's the queen and she rules the whole game. That is only because of how many men are ill-informed. But when all men are informed, whether it's the defense or the offense or both, that is only going to help if we unite. So I'm going to leave you with this. Your prior programming as a human being, whatever you're programmed with from birth, from growing up, whatever you're hearing over and over again, repetition, your programs that you are fed create your thoughts, the way you think about things. Your thoughts that you have in your head about things create your feelings about those same things. Your feelings about how you feel about something will create how you act. It will create your actions. And your actions, however you act out the situation, will create your results. So if we go back again to the thing about you wanting to tell women how you feel, right? You want to tell her how you feel. Well, that is programmed into us. We are programmed from a young age through repetition that you're supposed to tell women how you feel. That's just a program we were given. So even though right now you think, well, I want to tell women how I feel, and a lot of guys feel this way, it's because of our programs. But if that was all erased clean and you had a separate program, you just knew so much about female nature that was your new running program, your thoughts would be different. And when your thoughts are different, your feelings about your thoughts become different. And when your feelings about your thoughts are different, then your actions are different. And when your actions are different, your results are different. So again, we're ending with that you don't want to lose yourself as a person. Well, you're not losing yourself. You're just reprogramming your mind to reality versus the fairy tale that we're fed. And when you reprogram your mind, then you will not change as a person. You don't have to put on this act. It's just you have this new knowledge, this new awareness, and then you will see that your results are better with women just because the programs in your mind have changed. Anyway, thank you again for that donation. Very much appreciated. And I hope that helped. And, to all of us guys out here, that's one thing I just want everyone, whether you are a MGTOW monk or whether if you're a guy that just loves to go around and game women, all that. It's like, if we can just step back and just unite. And I think Coach Greg Adams did such a great job explaining this that I think it was with him and Donovan Sharp when they did their shared live stream that, they could sit here and argue about little things that they differ on about their philosophies, about MGTOW, RedPill, about whether you date women or you don't date women. You could argue about that. Or you could step back, and this is how Coach Greg Adams explained it, and it just was a brilliant way to explain it. He just said, hey, Coach Greg Adams is the defensive coordinator. And in that live stream, Donovan Sharp was the offensive coordinator. They're both working for the team of men, but just two different sides of the coin. So if we can just step back and just go, hey, man, MGTOW monks, I respect your decision. I absolutely respect any man's decision to step away from the game or ignore women. Just say, hey, you know what? I'm not even going to focus on that part of my life. I respect that. Now, if MGTOW monks could also go, hey, I respect the red pill man that still is in the dating scene. He still wants to explore hanging out with women. If you can respect that and we can all be on the same page, man, you guys, we will see that we will have a much more united group of men out there. We'll have each other's backs. We'll have support for each other. And guys will feel like they have, support behind them and they don't have to pick a side. Because that really is how it feels sometimes, It really feels that way that you have to pick a side. Either I'm going to ignore women completely or I'm going to game women. But there's no in between. That's how a lot of guys are looking at it. It's like, guys, let's unite. Two sides of the same coin. Let's unite and let's just spread awareness to all the guys that need to hear this because we are all raised, programmed by society to basically the main program running is how to be a beta male that gets simped out and gets, abused by the women. But let's unite and spread awareness where we can. One more time, thank you for the donation. I'm just going to say TS for your initials. And to anyone listening to this, what do you kind of think about that? Especially the last part, because that's how I'm really looking at it. It's like, it's so nice to have a group of men that can have your back because we don't really have this, right? Women grow up with support groups all around them with all the women, and women do a really good job. You could actually say this is the same about the Democratic Party in the United States. The Democratic Party in the United States does a really good job of no matter what, even if you think certain things are crazy like the Green New Deal, they do a really good job of sticking together and uniting. And that right there is big. Well, women do that all the time. Women will always have other women's backs. They stick together and unite. And us men, we have, it's so hard to find these support groups. And then when you do find something like the Red Pill or the Manosphere, inside of that, there's like this break in division as opposed to us guys just going, hey, remember, we're all on the same team. Whether you decide to just learn the defensive aspect or also the offensive aspect, we are all on the same team. Team men. And if women are watching this, the really controversial thing I'm about to say is that this is also not, okay, this is only good for men and it's bad for women. It's like, I will say this with all the experience I have with women, is that women are like children in the sense that they need boundaries, they need rules. And if they don't, they're going to become a spoiled kid. And so the more men that wake up to both the defensive aspect of this and the offensive aspect, and the more men that are going to be able to realize they're the prize and be able to stand their ground and be able to put their own rules on things, when they interact with women, women will benefit to that. Is kind of a ripple effect. Women will benefit for that as well, because that is what women are attracted to in men. It's just that everyone's so brainwashed to think differently that this is actually good for all parties. And so, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think about that? And kind of where do you lie? Some guys are like, hey, I'm more on the offensive side. I personally, guys, you guys know this from me. I've been very much on the offensive side of things, learning all the games and all that stuff, learning how to attract women, all that stuff. That's more, I've been the offensive mind, but I've learned a lot more of the defensive mind from great content creators on YouTube. I've learned a lot of the defensive mind as well from a lot of you guys in the comments. That has really helped me to be more complete as a man as well, which I'm very thankful for, learning that defensive side. But there's a lot of guys that only know the defense and they don't know the offense. But imagine the more men that know both, that is going to be the way that our future generations of men get better. So I would much rather have all men knowing both sides, and then you decide what to do with that knowledge, with whatever best fits your life. And that to me is, again, how men going your own way. That's kind of what it means to me, is you decide what you want to do with the knowledge you're learning. But, when you're getting good knowledge, when you're getting truth, that's something that is a beautiful thing to have. And I think that in that case, all knowledge in this arena is powerful, because it's going to help fight the prior programs that we had. All right, guys, let me know what you think. See ya. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe. Peace.